I'm recording.
Okay. And you guys got the polls to work. When we were at the parking and transportation, the polling wasn't working very well, so. Nice.
I can give you a debrief of all of the logistical things after the presentation.
So Erin, is the solar array already at the other end of because you sent me that news article. Is it already installed at the other end? Because I don't see it over on the, like, what is it, the north side, right?
I'll talk to you after about it, if that's
Okay.
okay, because I don't want to get, I want to stay in my mindset.
Okay, good. All right. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, Mrs. Muscati.
We're gonna wait until about 12:03 and then we'll start. Okay. I'm not sure who would like to say a little something on behalf of the PSS Sustainable Living Committee. Would Don or Janice, who would like to take it over and kind of introduce the series?
Up to you, Janice. You can do it or I can do it. Doesn't matter. Well, since I don't hear her. So, hello, everybody. This is a great opportunity that we put together in the last couple of months. 5 different speakers. Erin is the second in that series. We wanted to have a nice celebration for Sustainability Month and Earth Day, and also it's the 50th anniversary of the Professional Staff Senate soon. So we wanted to do something a little special and not lose the opportunity, even despite the fact that we can't meet together in person. So our 5-speaker series, we already had our first speaker last week, which was terrific. And today Erin's going to talk about a new program that is also quite fabulous. Next week, we're going to be talking about recycling with a representative from Modern Disposal. And then we have, maybe skip a week or two, and we will have a speaker from EV Charge Solutions to talk about all things electric vehicle. And then we close out the series first week in June with Janice Cochran, who's going to do some discussion on how to eat sustainably and why you should do that for your health, but also for the planet. So with that said, I would like to introduce Erin Scotty, who is a longtime colleague of mine and has been at UB for some time, from UB Sustainability, and she is going to, I don't want to blow her title reveal, so she's going to talk to us about a very cool new program. Erin, thank you for doing this, and take it away.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about this program because as my colleague Derek, who's on here, knows, this is one of the programs that kind of we're really passionate and excited about. Not that we aren't excited about all of our things, but this is one that I think is one of those programs that it just kind of comes easy in loving it. And not that it's not going to be not that it's not going to be work, but we think that this is just a great opportunity for us to kind of engage with students, faculty, and staff, and really get people involved at a level that some of our programs we don't have the opportunity to do that with. So the program is called Hired, and it is going to be a opportunity for students to have access to professional clothing and accessories for free. And before I get into that, I'll just go into a couple housekeeping details. If folks could, we've all been muted basically because I don't want to distract myself while I'm talking. But if you could ask any questions by typing them in the chat, that would be great. And then Jennifer is going to be keeping track of those so that at the end of the formal remarks, she'll be posing questions to me that I can address. And then depending on how things are going, I think we might also just unmute folks so that we can have a dialogue toward the end of the presentation. If you're having any technical difficulties throughout this presentation, just make a note in the chat, and then Jennifer can also try to troubleshoot as best she can. So with that, I'll get started. So first, the program, first and foremost, is about providing resources to students and supporting students on the campus. So I'm going to go over a few things today about the program. I'll go into detail in regards to what it is, why we created it, who is able to participate, and how we intend that it will work. So first, what is it? Hired is a professional clothing closet, is going to be a professional clothing closet here on the UB campus. We are going to be collecting new and lightly used professional clothing, accessories, shoes, anything that you think would be useful for a student that is going to be going to a job interview, an internship, a job fair. So that's pretty much what it is in a nutshell. Why did we create this? Well, as Don knows, we visited RIT, I think in the summer of 2019. And we were learning about all of their different sustainability initiatives. And one thing that we were really inspired by was a program that they have on their campus called Burns Closet. So the location of this professional clothing closet that they have was physically next door to their student food pantry. So students that were coming in to take advantage of food resources also had the opportunity to do a little shopping so that they would be able to be ready and feel confident going into an interview or in the just to start their professional careers. So the woman that had started this program on the RIT campus had done so out of her office for many years, and it had not been a formal initiative, but she had recognized that in working with students, one of the things that many of them would speak to her about after she became close with them was that, you know, it's really difficult to put together a professional wardrobe for their internships and co-ops. And she had kind of thought, geez, that's not something that was on the top of my mind, but you're right. You know, it is expensive to buy professional looking clothing so that you're taken seriously as a student. I wonder if there's something that I can do about this. So she used just her personal resources to begin advertising that she was in need of clothing and that this clothing would be distributed to students for free. And unfortunately, this woman, Bernadette, passed away as a result of cancer. And in her memory, her colleagues thought, you know, she was so passionate about helping students and doing this. What can we do to keep her memory alive on the campus? We should start something in her name, and Burns Closet, as they call it, was born. So we don't have the legacy of that in the hired program, but what we do have is we know that we have students that are in need. And we know that we have resources as staff members and also just as community members that we would possibly be able to provide resources to the students and have this to be a successful program. What I noticed that also kind of pushed us to pursue this further was one of the programs that we operate with Campus Living and also with student volunteers is called UB Reuse. That is a move out program where students that are living in the residence halls can donate materials in May when they're moving off campus. We then process all of those items and then offer them at basically the equivalent of a yard sale in August when students are moving back on campus. What we noticed over the past 5 years that we've operated this program is that there are certain items that we collect in large quantities in May that there isn't a demand for during move-in in August. A big portion of that is clothing. And it makes sense because if you're a student and you're moving onto campus in August, it's hot, you're with your family, you're trying to get yourself settled in your residence hall room, you're not really in the mood to go to a thrift store and do shopping. That doesn't mean that we don't have a lot of great clothing that would possibly be available or that students would be interested at a later date. So the thought was, could we, during this as part of this program, pull out any of those items that could be classified as professional clothing, or, you know, dress type clothing, set them aside, and then put them into service so that they're better utilized as part of this hired program. So that's another avenue that we have to kind of bring in material. Lastly, this program is in total alignment with the university's goals to become climate neutral, and also in line with the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, in particular, goal number 10, which is focused on reducing inequalities. And then also goal number 12, which is responsible consumption and production in terms of how do we use materials. So who do we envision would be able to participate in this program? Anyone can donate. We are not setting up Hired as a nonprofit. We are going to be setting this up as an initiative of the university, a program of UB sustainability. So we won't be able to give you, you know, a receipt so that you could have it as a tax write-off. However, we're really hoping that that won't deter people from donating clothing and accessories. However, only students will be able to shop. This is going to be a safe place for the LGBTQ community and students that may be transitioning or non-binary and may not have ready access to professional clothing, or may not have the ability to get off campus in order to get new resources. This is going to be a no questions asked free store. Any student will be able to make an appointment to visit us, and they will have access to the equivalent of one complete outfit, professional outfit per semester. We will not be asking the students to return those items because we don't have a way to launder material right now. So we're asking that anything that be donated be clean and ready for someone to wear. You can participate, any faculty and staff member can participate by volunteering your time and your talent. So in talking about this with Jennifer, she was saying, oh my gosh, this could be like a great you know, way for somebody to do kind of the what not to wear, which used to be a show on, I think, TLC that was always fun to watch, like people that would wear these really bad things. And you're thinking, wow, they just need a little help. So maybe that would be something, if you're interested in that, that would be something. If you have retail specific skills or just a passion for fashion and are interested in helping us, that would be great. If you have an in with a dry cleaner that would be willing to offer dry cleaning services, wonderful. We are looking for help in all different aspects of this program. Another thing that we're thinking is this program is going to be physically located within the sustainability office. Unfortunately, the sustainability office is located in it's off the spine. So we're not in the best location for easy access with students, but that's not hopefully a deterrent. But what we think is, well, there's an opportunity for other staff members to possibly act as a satellite location for people that are going to be dropping off items, or even like a pop-up shop. So that if there's going to be a job fair, you know, in Alumni Arena, maybe we have a staff member in the CFA or alumni that would say, you know, I'll offer a pop-up shop in our reception area on this day before the job fair, so that students could come and look at some items. That would be great. We also have a lot of different in-kind needs. So mannequins, clothing racks, helping with inventory, sizing, that type of thing. And then we're also going to be looking for models to basically just put on the items and show like, how do you put together an outfit? We're thinking that that would be a fun way to really engage students in this program. So yeah, that's how you can participate. So how it will work, as I've already kind of gone over a lot of that, but I wanted to define the timeline. Right now, the plan pre-COVID was to actually launch this program in April of 2020. We had to hit the pause button on that. We would like to be soft launching the program starting now. We need to collect materials and build up an inventory of clothing and accessories first, prior to opening up the doors to students. So right now we're in the let's get some inventory phase, so that we can have an actual launch of the physical location in late August of 2021, when students are coming back to campus. So who else is involved in this program? We have been working with a lot of individuals, and having those individuals within student unions, student affairs, the Career Design Center, pitching this idea and this opportunity to them so that they can then bring it back to their respective units and figure out, okay, how can we support this initiative that sustainability will be leading, but that, you know, obviously we're looking for collaborators that can help us. So another focus of the program, beyond just supporting students, is reducing waste on campus. And I think for a lot of folks, it may not be, I think, you know, the question might be, why is sustainability doing like offering a resource that will support students that are trying to get an internship? You know, why is that, how does that fit into sustainability? So we do have a zero carbon goal by 2030. And we have a lot of different initiatives to help us achieve that really big goal within 10 years. So 10 categories that we have identified that have a significant impact on our greenhouse gas emissions. One of those is waste. And HIRED is a program that falls under what we refer to as this waste not category. So as part of our waste not category, we actually have a program to achieve zero waste by 2030. What does that mean? We have the impact of a small city here on campus, to be, you know, just frank. So there's a lot of impact that we have in terms of what are we bringing on this campus? How are we disposing of it? How are we reusing it? How do we redistribute it? But essentially, we are working to divert at least 90% of our waste from landfills and incinerators by 2030. That's a big challenge. So, seem to be frozen. Hold on a second. There we go. So as part of that zero waste strategy, we've identified these 9 buckets and are structuring programming around these 9 buckets. And HIRED is going to fall under, you know, the redistributing usable goods to the campus community. And it's also going to obviously help students in their professional lives. So That is a quick overview of the hired program, how it fits into our sustainability initiatives here at the university. And I'm sure that there are lots of questions. So I'd like to just kind of dive into the specifics and do my best to answer any questions that folks might have.
Well, thanks so much, Erin, for letting us know about this great new venture, and which will undoubtedly serve lots of students and also provide opportunities for faculty, staff, and other students to reduce waste and reuse, donate for this great cause in service to students. We have received a few questions in the chat, so I can start with a couple. How will you determine what clothes are appropriate to offer, and what will you do with the clothes that are not deemed appropriate? And also, will students be able to try on clothing?
Okay, so yes, students will have the ability to try on clothing. The physical space that we are in the process of creating is basically one room that will have a lockable door. So it will serve as the store, but then also the changing room. Initially, we think that there's not going to be, really an issue with multiple students coming in at any one time. And we can always kind of, usher some students out and say, okay, well, so-and-so would like to try this on. Can you come out into the office space while they do that? So that would be a yes, they would have the ability to. How are we going to determine what is or is not professional? I think it's going to be pretty, I don't know that there's going to be a lot of gray area in that. If there is, I'm probably going to, veer on the, actually err on the side of, if there is a question as to whether or not something would be appropriate for professional attire, then I'm going to say that no, it's not. And then, so any of those items that we deem as maybe worn, I'm sure that we'll get like men's clothing with like stains around the collar, worn cuffs, things like that. If someone is donating something because they would no longer wear it, we're going to be developing a list of criteria that will be shared for people. And one of those will be, if you wouldn't wear it anymore because it's showing signs of wear, please don't donate it to the students. And I think that will just be like, oh yeah, I guess that's right. Like I shouldn't just give them the stuff that is no good anymore. And if that's the case, what we'll be doing is just donating to other avenues, such as basically like all of the collection programs that we currently deal with on campus, City Mission, Hearts for the Homeless, they have textile recycling opportunities. So if they get items that are not usable anymore, they're able to get money for those items. I think it's not a huge amount of money. I think last time I checked, it was like 3 cents a pound, but they get it in such a large quantity that it actually does generate revenue for them. So suffice to say that any of the items that will be donated, we will, that are not usable, will divert to another resource. That said, we are going to be picky because I don't want to be like oh, well, I don't know what to do with this, so I'll just give it to sustainability and they can deal with it, because we don't have a campus vehicle to be transporting things. And we don't want to, it's not a good use of our staff time to be serving as a resource for textile recycling, because those resources already exist. So we will set it up to protect ourselves. So initially, we'll be knowing who is donating items. If it's going to be bagged, there will be, you know, this was the donation person, this is their email. And then if we see that, you know, geez, this just looks like they just like totally dumped a bunch of junk on us, we'll reach out to them and say that and say, please come and pick this up. You know, this is just not appropriate. And I don't feel bad about that because this is all about doing good. And I think that if that's known, I don't think people will try to abuse the generosity of the program.
Good. Don has asked that where can he start bringing bags of clothes to you?
Okay,
Where and
Dennis,
when? Where and when?
as long as all of your, as long as all of my picky criteria is met, no, what we'll be doing is making the website or the web page live for Hired. That will be coming out within the next, 3 or 4 weeks. I know that Don has been really generous in being, because he's on our planning committee. So he has been, an unofficial drop site since last year. So I know that he's anxious to get this stuff out of his office, and I don't blame him at all. So hold tight just a little bit longer. And then once my kids are out of school, I'll have the ability to actually get myself on campus and go through the items. So kind of that's the timeline. Once we haven't been within the sustainability office, there are 4 of us. And only really one of us has been in the office since COVID. The other 2 or the other 3 of us have kind of, once in a while we're going in. So that's why I'd like to begin collecting material. So if people have items that they'd like to donate, they can email me directly right now. And then we can figure out kind of a process, an unofficial process in the short term prior to me being physically back on campus when it'll be easier.
Okay, so you'll keep us posted as to when it'll be open. I think it might be a good time to have people unmute. Mindy Somerville has posted a few good points in the chat, and she might want to be able to ask you those questions.
Sure.
Let's see if we can do this. Okay, people should be able to unmute themselves now.
Okay.
Mindy mentioned that the Acker Scholars Program and the Honors Programs may be good groups to connect with, since they both have focus on social justice initiatives and living learning programs. And they have community service hours as well. Mindy, do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so my former role was with Campus Living, and I oversaw our living learning programs, and I know both of those groups are very active. And all the students in those programs are required to do a certain number of hours. And they've organized some community-based programs for them, but this could be a great on-campus option because most of the students don't have cars. And so busing students to a location that can accommodate, 50 students at a time can be difficult. So this could be a really great on-campus option that I was thinking of for them. Especially in the freshman year, those students, there's a couple hundred students available. So that could be a great, and you already work with Campus Living, so that might be a great partnership option to go with them. And then my other question that I posted after that was, I know there are times whenever I've got professional clothing that I rip a seam in it or I pop a button, etc. And I just have enough professional clothing, I just stop wearing it and it just sits then in the corner. Is that something that you guys would accept? I know you would need then people to fix those clothing or those things, but that could be a good community service option, etc. But I just wasn't sure if you were automatically going to toss them or put them aside, or what you were planning to do with clothing that had a minor repair needed.
I honestly, you know what? I hadn't even thought of that, but you're completely right. And I kind of am excited by that potential because one of the things that we've done in the past is we did a repair fair, and there have been repair fairs or repair cafes, in the community. And they're just a wonderful way to network and build community. So I really, not that I want to like solicit, hey, bring us stuff that needs repair, but I know that we have a costume shop. This was brought up like in one of the prep meetings. So maybe if somebody has a good contact within the costume shop in the CFA, this might be a really cool way for us to collaborate with them and say, okay, we're doing this initiative. Here's something that we've, identified as maybe a challenge. Are there folks in the costume shop that basically need like just practicing like the tailoring skills, that type of thing? And I don't know how big that department is, or if that's something, but that could be a fun way to just expand the group of people that we work with. So I'm going to explore that. So thank you for that idea, because you're right. I have some things like that too, that
I've got more
basically, I know it's always like the hem on the pants comes out, and then you're like, oh, I'll just not, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Or that one.
I will look into that, and then I'll go into more detail on the website on like, how we would be dealing with items like that. And maybe we just ask for them to be bagged in a separate way.
Okay. Just an idea.
Thank you. No, it's great.
I've got old purses and shoes and things like that too. Because sometimes I buy a pair of shoes and they just don't fit right, or I wear them once or twice. I'm like, nah, never mind. And just the inconvenience of trying to fix them, then I end up hoarding. So
Yeah, right. I know, exactly. And that is something, purses, belts, shoes, because, if
jewelry,
you
all
think
that.
about it. Yeah.
So no, it's a great
Yeah.
initiative. I'm really excited to see it launch and go. I'm in this group on Facebook called the Buy Nothing Project. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but this kind of reminds me of that opportunity where people can like trade off items. And so I wonder if there'd be a cool way to post in one of those groups at some point for Amherst and be like, if anybody has like stuff you want to donate to the school, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I work with a lot of our external partnerships as well, because I do business development. And I think this could be a cool option if someone wants to be involved more with the school, if they don't have time to donate, but maybe they can put out a message to their people. So
Yes.
we'll wait until we have like a pipeline of how we get clothing in, et cetera, before I think we start outwardly going.
Yes. Yes. And, I'm working with the alumni network is another thing that, I'm excited by that opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, are shoes considered part of textile recycling also, or no? So when you say you get, platform shoes or something and you hand them off, they're able to be recycled by like Salvation Army or whatever?
That's a good question. I mean, I know that there are recycling programs for rubber-based shoes. I don't know what the community partners do with shoes if they are no longer usable. So I would have to go to them and pose that question as to, what do they do? Because I'm sure that there are a lot of, materials that, they cannot recycle.
So it all sounds great. It sounds like Mindy should be on your committee.
I'd love to get, however folks are can contribute, whether it's suggestions or, you know, at a more in-depth level, I am open and willing, you know, to collaborate. I feel like the more heads that get together on this, the better the outcome. So yeah, if folks are, the suggestions that you just gave, Mindy, are awesome. And I mean, if that's the level that you can contribute, that's fine. If you want to do more, that's great. So I'll take it all. So yeah. Anybody else have anything that they that was unclear, or that they're that they've heard about, or suggestions?
I don't see anything else in the chat, Erin.
All right.
But if you could give us your email address again, I'll put that into the chat if people want to get in touch with you afterwards.
Definitely. Let me pull that up real quick.
I had one other thought. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what my time level of commitment could look like at the moment, but
No pressure.
I will contribute and help when and where I can. So I work for the School of Engineering, designing projects for students to engage with that serve real world purpose, et cetera. But I know the Experiential Learning Network also puts together projects. So if you could come up with what you think the project would look like, or how a group of students could be working towards solving a problem or a specific aspect of the operation, that could be a good way to get an invested group of students engaged and working towards a project. If it's engineering based, I could certainly help. If it's multidisciplinary, then ELN is a great project portal like option to go towards.
Yes, thank you for reminding me of that. It's been a while since we posted on there. So,
and I know right now they're
excellent.
recruiting for new projects as well. So
Yeah.
it just depends on what direction you would want the students to engage.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, if folks think of anything else or would like to just touch base one-on-one, feel free to reach out. Feel free also to, you know, help get the word out. I will let everybody know via the Connect list once the web page is live with various specifics, and then folks could distribute that and participate and just help us get the word out.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then Janice, the next speaker in the series is Modern.
Yes, Modern Disposal. Her name is Madeline Matthews, and we had a pre-meeting yesterday, and I learned a lot. It's on May 7th, I believe. It's 2 Fridays from now, or was it? No, it's next Friday. Yep.
Okay.
So come back soon. Okay. And
All
thank you,
right.
Erin, for your time. Thank you, everybody, for attending. All right.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, everybody.
All right. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. I think we have to stop the recording.
Okay.
So we'll stop